The NCAA and Jim Harbaugh, where are we?
So this is essentially the Jim Tressel case from 12 years ago. The only thing that's changed is everything else around it, because basically what they got Jim Harbaugh on is not telling the truth to the NCAA. They call this cheeseburger gate at Michigan. And basically what happened was during COVID, there were some recruits. One of them was committed to Michigan already. They drove to campus on their own dime, just wanted to look around. But schools were not supposed to have any recruits on campus, whether they were unofficial visits, official, didn't matter. You weren't supposed to have anybody at that time. And so Jim Harbaugh goes and meets them at a restaurant. And when the NCAA asks about this, he says, I don't recall. They hand him a receipt. Do you recall now? I don't recall. And so they're saying he was providing misleading information to the investigators, which is exactly what they got Jim Tressel for. The difference is in 2011, Ohio State forced Jim Tressel out because people were still like, oh my goodness, he committed an NCAA violation. And now we're like, who cares? Michigan's thing is, we're more worried about Jim Harbaugh going to the NFL. We would like to keep him. But here's the interesting part. Remember, they were going to do a negotiated, basically a plea bargain, where Jim Harbaugh was going to be suspended for 4 games. That got rejected by the Committee on Infractions. Michigan then self-imposed 3 games. So we already know they want more than 4 games as a suspension. And I don't think they're going to tack on those 3 that he got for the Connor Stallion signal stealing stuff at the end of the season. I don't think that gets tacked on because that's a separate NCAA investigation. So yeah, I think there's more suspension coming from the NCAA once all this gets settled. But Michigan's not going to cave and fire him, I don't think, the way Ohio State caved and fired Jim Tressel.
Okay, but is Harbaugh now more likely to try to go to the NFL again than sit around and wait for these, whatever sanctions are going to happen or penalties?
I think he's going to try to go to the NFL anyway, Dan, because I think he's wanted to. I think there's still an itch there. And remember, he was a really good NFL coach.
Okay, but what is holding this up with Harbaugh?
Well, he's NFL teams wanting to hire him.
But he's a proven talent. Why would you take Arthur Smith when you could have Jim Harbaugh? Why would you take Matt Rule when you could have Jim Harbaugh?
Ask Ziggy Wilf. He could have had Jim Harbaugh.
Well, I do like that coach.
Yeah, I do too.
I think
Kevin O'Connell's a great coach.
Yes. I understand but there are a lot of other coaches that are pedestrian.
Well, and that's the thing. I think there could be jobs where Jim Harbaugh would be a good fit. Like if Chicago fires Matt Eberflus, I mean, you put Jim Harbaugh there with a number 1 draft pick quarterback, assuming, I know the Panthers won the other day, so I don't know. The Bears pick is still number 1 for now. If the Panthers go on a winning streak, we'll see about that. But you got the Bears. You got the Chargers job is open. You want Jim Harbaugh working with Justin Herbert? Yeah, that'd probably be a pretty good thing. So I think,
how about this?
If you're an NFL owner, you need to think about it.
The Chargers, you can have Bill Belichick or Jim Harbaugh.
Ooh. I'm worried about Belichick. Belichick non-Brady is a scary thought. And the question I have with Belichick, and actually it's a question I'd ask with Harbaugh too, because he's coming from the college ranks where you have full personnel control. Belichick, the GM, worries me more than Belichick, the coach. So I'm not sure because I think both those guys are going to want very tight personnel control. I think I might go Harbaugh to work with Herbert.